Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video, I'm going to take this simple pair of copper tongs that we made in this video right here, coming on screen right now. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. And I'm going to make a decorative rivet for it. So I'm going to go through this process real quick to take and show you how I have done this, and we'll get to it. So I decided, you know what, this looks nice, but it's just too plain. I really want to take and have some decoration on there, so that's what we're going to work at today. It's a fairly simple process, so hopefully I can go through this pretty quickly. What I've got here is just a 6x6 treated timber from your local hardware store, Home Depot, or anything like that will work. Hashtag not a sponsor of this channel. And I have started it on this, so I've created a little bit of a depression down here, and that's going to work to take and support the work and not mash this side of the rivet. So if you want to do a decorative rivet, you have to take and work the decorative rivet over something soft, so this way you don't mess up the previous decorative rivet. So I'm going to set my tongs on there just like so, nice and easy. I'm going to take off these big heavy gloves because I don't want to have any dexterity issues. I want to be able to use my hands and be able to feel the punch or the chisels or whatever I'm using. This here happens to be a 1/4 inch ball punch or 6 mil ball punch. That's what we want to take and use for this project. I'm going to pick any place on this rivet, and I'm going to come in, not in the center. If you picture a dot in the center of the material, in fact, let me help you picture that here in just 1 second. So we have a dot in the center of the material, right? That's our dead center. And then we have our outer rim of our material, if you will. Hopefully you guys can see those two marks there. If we have a dot in our center and we have an outer rim, say leave about a 1/16 or whatever, less than that, maybe a 32nd of an inch, all the way around the outside rim, we want to come somewhere in the middle of these two points in order to take and drive in our round ball punch. I'm using a 16-ounce cross peen hammer, self-forged here. You can use a 16-ounce ball peen or anything about 1 pound. Works really nice for this type of work that we're about to do. So we're going to set our tongs on here. We're going to come about halfway in between where we're supposed to be. I'm going to aim for it, stay out of that center, and I'm going to start creating a dot. And as I go, I'm going to go ahead and work that down to the outside edge and slowly aim away from myself. I'm trying to push the material in one direction, as you can see there. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here. Excuse me if the footage is a little dark. It's about 10, 11 o'clock right now, p.m. here in Ohio. As of the recording of this video, you guys are probably, if you're in the USA, you're probably just watching this with your morning coffee in the morning, but I filmed it late at night after my long work day. So anyways, that's what we're trying to do, and we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. The way that we're going to do that, we're not going to lay it out. If you want to take and lay it out, go ahead and lay it out, you know, petal for petal. I'm just going to come next side, that starting point, and do exactly the same thing again, just to where it ends up where my two areas here are going to end up meeting. Let me see if I can turn this a little bit so you guys can see a little better. Here. So you don't have to go real far with each one of these. You just want to take and start getting them chased down to where they need to be. Now, it gets a little interesting as you come around. You kind of just have to spin your body, work with what you got. We're just aiming all for that same spot, trying to stay off that center dot. Again, if you want these perfectly laid out, these petals perfectly laid out, go ahead. That's all up to you. I'm going for a little more organic on this one, but you can do what you like. So just keep going around here. There's nothing really hard about this type work. It's just all about taking your time, making sure your ball punch ends up in the right place to begin with, and continue to drive the material down at each leg of the journey. Now, it's always helpful if you've got a heavy block or you've got this mounted somehow, locked in. That's always a good thing for this type work. It stops things from shifting around on you and becoming a pain in the butt. We don't like that. I'm just going back to the other one. So as we go around, we're just going to keep going right on around with those. As you go around, you need to make sure that you're leaving enough space. So see here, we're coming into this section where we need to see, okay, do we just do one more petal or do we do two? The way I've stacked these around with this 1/4 inch, it just about fits. Go ahead and do two. That's what I'm going to do here. Again, I'm going for a little more organic or natural. If you're not going for the organic or natural side of things, you can probably get away with, you know, if you're trying to make them accurate, you'll already know the spacing prior, which is very, very beneficial. So we're just going to try to work that out and try to keep this thing from flopping all over the place. That's probably the most annoying part about this whole process, is this thing's propensity to want to take a bounce around on you. So we're just going to do that, get this last little bit in here, and we're going to be good to go. If you find that this block is bouncing too much, again, do whatever you got to do to take and lock it down. You do not want it to take and inhibit your ability to do the work, because you just put a lot of time and effort into this, and so screwing it up at this point is just going to be a screw up. So, you know, we don't want that. We want this to take and be protected the whole way through the journey. We want to come out with something on this other side. So take whatever time you need. This may bend around on you a bit because it is copper, so it's not like it's the most stable thing in the world. That's okay. We're just going to go around and keep working on this. So I'll be back with you after we work this down just a bit more, and we'll go on to the center portion. But basically, we're going to aim our ball punch, good solid blows, and we're just trying to pull out an ear of material. Very similar to the rosettes that I've done in a few other videos. I will take and put one of those on screen now if you want to go watch that, where I did a whole tutorial on just making decorative rivets with a rosette. It's the same exact process. We're just trying to scoop the material out until we create a lobe of material. That's really what we're wanting to go for there. That's going to give it this look that we're looking to achieve here of a flower petal. Again, I'm going very organic with it. You can make this as sterile looking as you like. I say organic looks better. So that's what I say. All right, after I get this done, I'll be right back with you. It's literally the same process, just 8 more times. I'll be right back. So here we are. We've gotten all that took and spread out. Now we're going to work on the center part. So the center part was made with an eyeball punch. Again, this is approximately 1/4 inch or 6 mil eyeball punch. It's probably a little less than that. It's probably, say, more closer to 3/16 of an inch. I'm not sure what that is in metric. It's probably, what, 4 or 5 mil, somewhere around there. About 4.5 mil probably is what that would be in metric equivalent. If you know what 3/16 is, comment down in the comment section to take and help the guys from across the world here. So we're going to make that portion. So this is how we make that. Also, I should like to mention that as you work on these tongs, it's good if this joint's tight fitting to begin with, because it is going to loosen up as you hammer on this and expand some material. These are going to want to expand ever so slightly, so the tongs will loosen up and have a really nice loose fit to them. So it's okay if your tongs, when you start with this process, are a little tighter to begin with. You know, you haven't fully adjusted them, worked out the joint. Is just fine. So now we're going to go ahead and set this on top. I'm going to use a much heavier hammer just to get the initial set down set with one big whack. And then I'm going to come back around again. This is a 3-pound hammer, by the way. All I'm trying to do here is get the initial set in to get it set and drive the material down. Okay, I've got that. So now we've got the roundness there. And I'm going to go ahead and switch back over to the lighter hammer, the little 16 ounce. You could start with the lighter hammer. You just have to give it a lot harder wax with the lighter hammer to get it started. But then I'm just going to lightly chase and planish out that center motif. So let me move this. And if anybody is wondering, I'm making these tongs for my wife Jessica. So she has just recently gotten into the hobby of doing copper enameling. So she's doing enameling and taking some enameling courses and some classes. And part of that, you use a pair of copper tongs to pick your copper up out of a acid bath or a pickle bucket. And it's a kind of like a light, low strength acid type deal that you do, but you still use a pair of copper tongs so you don't contaminate. You know, you're not mixing the two, you're not mixing steel with the copper, so this way you don't contaminate your copper with another form, another material, so to speak. And so therefore, that's what prompted making her these tongs here. So I'm hoping she's going to like them. And I decided, you know what, we better fancy these up a bit. You know, it is Jessica after all. If you've made it to this point in the video, say, we love Jess, because I love Jess, and I think all you guys can agree she does a lot here to be able to help me produce these videos here on this channel. And, you know, her help is greatly appreciated, and I love showering her with gifts like this, especially when she's not expecting it. She is a good woman to me, a wonderful wife, and my soulmate. So, enough gushiness there. What am I talking about? This is a blacksmith channel. Enough of that gushiness, gushy stuff. She's going to end up seeing this when she goes and puts the search engine optimization on the video, and she's going to blush. Maybe I'll win some brownie points. What do you think, guys? Some brownie points? Guys and gals, do I deserve just a few? That's your alternate secret passcode, you could say. Roy deserves some brownie points. Oh, anyways, so that's basically how you take and make a decorative rivet. You can do this in steel as well. It just takes a little more time, you know, and you got to be a little more. You can't do it hot, unfortunately. You can do these hot if you have a die that's already made up that's the negative of this. You can do this, but that's kind of a bit, it really locks you into a specific size thing. And when you're hand doing them, it doesn't really make sense to have a die. So just a good old trusty wood block is good enough to be able to do a pair of tongs like this. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this little follow-up video to making these tongs. If you did, remember to hit that like button and comment down below. Your watch time and viewership is very much appreciated because it does take and help support this channel in a non-financial way. It just kind of helps get the name out of what we do here at Christ Center Ironworks, and we do greatly appreciate you all for that. If you would like to take and support us on the financial side of things to help us continue to take and produce great video content like this here on YouTube for free for everybody else, a great way that you can do that is over at our webpage, blacksmithpdfs.com, and consider purchasing either a power hammer plan or an ebook around the subject of business in the world of blacksmithing. So again, that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.